Hey everyone, and welcome back to Nostalgia Generator, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So, Tristan Taylor's guilty pleasure in life is to have enough hair gel to make his hairstyle as ridiculous as possible at all times, right? But our guilty pleasure is this game, so let's just jump into it, shall we? So today, we'll be reviewing once again Card Trader cards, and yeah, this will be the final part of this review of Card Trader. So today we'll be devoting ourselves to normal cards and rare cards. And before I begin, there's one thing about Card Trader. Keep in mind that in featured cards section, even more cards will be added in the future. So basically, even more cards will be rotating at Card Trader each and every 8 hours. And after a while, when this section becomes too big, Konami rotates some of these cards out to the regular inventory section. So basically, once they are in this regular inventory section, you can get these cards whenever you want. So that's pretty nice. So that's something to keep in mind for the future, because I'm pretty sure even more Card Trader cards will be added. So yeah, so basically, in the future, these cards which are currently in the featured cards section will appear here, and you won't have to wait for the rotation to happen. So, however, though, you will have to wait for the rotation to happen if we're speaking about new cards, you know. So, but yeah, today rares and normals, and yeah, let's start off with rares. Okay, so the first card of interest here is Jade Knight. Now, currently this card does not see any play at all, simply because XYZ Dragon decks are not too popular, but I think in the future this card will see much more play, especially if we'll get more parts for assembling ABC Dragon, you know. So yeah, watch out for this card in the future. And in the past, this card was actually splashed into Cyber Dragon decks as well, simply because it's a really nice searcher in all these decks that I mentioned. So, next card is AD Changer. This card by itself is not too good, but it's really nice in decks that benefit from graveyard effects. For example, in that Grass Looks Greener decks, this card is really nice. Also, sometimes it's being splashed into Blackluster Soldier decks, and also in Brave Neos decks as well. So, especially in Brave Neos decks, which are rampant currently on ladder, so there, that card is, yeah, really nice. So, okay, next we have Beginning of Heaven and Earth, also a part of Blackluster Soldier archetype, and this card is one of the best cards from this archetype currently available at the Card Trader, simply because it's a really nice searcher card, and also you might think that it is a negative effect when some of your cards are being sent to the graveyard, but don't forget that Blackluster Soldier actually utilizes graveyard to his own advantage. So yeah. Next we have Hazy Flame Sphinx, which is considered to be a staple in Hazy decks, and also a boss monster of that deck in particular, simply because of its swarming potential. So it's really nice card in Hazy decks. And yeah, also currently in the meta, I don't know why Hazys are not being used too much, simply because now currently in the meta, effects are just rampant on ladder, so yeah, it's really odd that I haven't seen a single Hazy deck currently, so that's kinda odd. Okay, next card is Psychokinesis. This is considered to be a staple in Psychic type decks. Currently they don't see too much play, simply because I think people are afraid of their card effects, simply because to activate most of these effects of these psychic cards you have to pay your own life points, and as you can see in Duel Links we only have 4,000 life points, so that's why these psychic decks are not too popular. However, in the future, if more psychic masters will be released that will have more powerful effects and will also increase your life points, then I think this card will see more play. Next we have Luminotaurus, which was kinda like overlooked card in my opinion. Back in the days when Mako was rampant on ladder, simply because it has a really nice effect, especially in beatstick decks. It basically gives really big advantage to pretty much all Mako monsters which are currently on the field. It gives them piercing damage, and sometimes that really matters. So, if Mako will again be popular on ladder, then maybe this card will see play. Okay, next we have Super Soldier Synthesis. Currently this card is not too popular in Black Luster Soldier decks, simply because the ritual version of Black Luster Soldier is not played at all. However though, I really hope that in the future Card Trader will be upgraded with this, with Super Soldier. I'm just waiting for that day to happen, because Super Soldier is a really great card, and I think if it will be released, if it will appear at the Card Trader, then this card will be played a lot. Super Soldier Synthesis will appear a lot in these decks, and then I think we'll also have the opportunity to experiment more with Black Luster Soldier archetype, and also with Gaia monsters as well in this archetype. So yeah, don't forget that this card exists here. So, and also, yeah, Super Soldier's artwork, in my opinion, is one of the best artworks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like seriously, look at this thing. It's amazing. Konami, if you're watching this, please add Super Soldier in Duel Links.
Please add my waifu. Please add.
I beg of you. Please. Okay, next card is Doomdog. I even don't know how to pronounce this. Octros, I guess? Here's the deal about this card. I don't know why, but in Duel decks it is not included for whatever reason. It's kinda like overlooked card. But this card can actually search out Lava Golem, and people kinda forget that. So yeah, I don't wanna encourage that behavior, okay? But the Weevil players, if you are here, you know this card is here, but should you get it? I don't know, maybe not. So, no, I'm just joking. Of course, if you are Weevil, if you like burn decks, of course get this card. So, honestly, if we're speaking about these annoying decks, which for the most part are burn and mill decks, I know that many people despise them, I know that many people don't like them. However, I actually experimented with these decks myself, and they are actually quite fun. So, it's just that most of the people cannot deal with them, and that's why they are kinda raging. So, okay, next card is Magical Mallet. This card is only good in farming decks to get the cards that you need faster to your hand, and that's pretty much it. So, if you're a farmer, yeah, definitely get this card, and sometimes it will come in handy for you. So, okay, next card is Delg the Dark Monarch. An overlooked card in Monarch decks. I haven't seen it being played too much, but the effect is actually quite powerful. It wasn't too powerful before, but now, currently, when graveyard effects are pretty important, this card is actually quite good. And I think the value of this card will even rise in the future when these effects will be even more important. So, and also, don't forget that it also acts as a mill card, so sometimes you can get some use out of this effect as well. So, okay, next we have Gokipan! Look at this thing, look how cute he is. It's a small little Gokipan! But anyway, this card is a search card, and it's inherently good, just because of that fact. So, but currently, like I already mentioned in previous Card Trader review videos, insect-type decks are not too popular, simply because we don't have decent insects in this game for now. But watch out for this small little Gokipan in the future, because in the future, when we'll get more important insect monsters, I think in the future this card will be good. So, okay, next we have Great Keeper's Spear Soldier, which was quite important card in Great Keeper's decks, in the past. In the future, maybe this card will see play again when some more Gravekeeper support will be added. As you can see, his effect is not too big, it's just a basic effect. It just deals piercing damage and that's it. So, I don't know. We'll see what will happen with this card in the future. Just remember that it's here. Maybe in the future better Gravekeeper cards will be added, and then, you know, instead of this card you could use some better card, but for now, if you have no better cards to put in your Gravekeeper's decks, then use this card. So, okay, next we have Tenkabito Shien, which is a staple in Shien and Wild Heart decks. Basically, in that deck there are only two staple monster cards. One of them is Shien, Tenkabito Shien, and the other one is Wild Heart, simply because these two cards, they are not affected by traps, and the whole deck revolves around that. It's really good deck in meta, which is focused on trap effects. It was one of the most tedious decks to deal with previously. Now I don't see this deck too much, but maybe again in the future if you'll see some more vicious trap cards on ladder, then maybe again this deck will rise in popularity. So, okay, next we have Cyberstein. Back in the early days of Duel Links, there were a lot of meme decks involving this card, and yep, you guessed it correctly and you guessed it right. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Now we don't see much occasions like this, simply because we have a lot of back row that can deal with that. But yeah, back in the early days, oh boy, receiving almost 5k damage to the face was pretty painful. So. But watch out for this card in the future, because maybe some more shenanigans like this will happen if some more interesting fusion monsters will be released. So yeah, decks that use Cyberstein, they usually use skills that give you more life points at the beginning of the duel, but less cards in your hand. So, but don't get me wrong, they were never consistent, they were just your basic meme decks, you know, but who knows, maybe in the future meme will not be a meme after all. Maybe it will be a harsh reality, who knows. So, okay, next card is Guardian Statue. This card I actually sometimes use myself in mat farming decks, and that's the only application for it basically. So you control Guardian Statue, you give it to your opponent with a Mystic Box, then you summon a monster that you are farming mat for, and then each and every turn that monster is being returned to your hand. You know, basically you use this card to create a loop so that you can summon the desired monster for which you are farming mat each and every turn. So yeah, I think in the future I'll actually show you how this card works in practice when I'll be yeah, using it for farming mats. So okay, next we have Jar of Greed, which I use a lot in my mat farming decks as well. As you can see, the effect is really simple. Draw one card. It's basically like a pot of greed, only yeah, on diet, so to speak, you know. But yeah, there are no other applications for this card. It's just a deck thinner card, and that's it. It's even not really good actually, deck thinner card, simply because well, it's a trap card. It's slow. Where if you would use a monster card, for example, then it would act as a protection, you know. So, but yeah, with the combination of this card with Legacy of Yata-Garasu and Good Goblin Housekeeping, you can sometimes draw 3 cards in a turn, which is kinda ridiculous. Sometimes even more. So, yeah. Okay, next we have Tragedy, which was never actually played too much, but I kinda consider this card kinda like a tech option in a way, which I think is really actually nice in the current meta, simply because we have a lot of sub-terror decks on ladder. So, but generally speaking, if we're speaking about other decks, this card works against them, but works kinda like in a combo-ish way, because you have to use it together with either Windstorm of Atakwa or Curse of Anubis to get the full effect of it, you know? So, yeah. If you manage to pull off the combo, this card works wonders. But you see, the problem is, if you just use this card alone, then it's only good in certain situations. So, because when a face-up attack position monster your opponent controls is changed to the face-up defense position, this particular thing is used very rarely in this game, so... Okay, and that's it for rares, so now let's hop into normals. And let's start off with Ganago. So Ganago I personally use in farming decks, mod farming decks. This card really works great there, especially for monsters who can be flip summoned. Because remember, some monsters in this game, when you're farming mats, you can actually flip summon them and it will count as a summon. It is mainly related to cards which can be summoned by normal means, and what that also means is that they can be just flip summoned. It will also count as a summon. So basically you summon Ganago, give it to your opponent via Mystic Box, and then you just attack with the desired monster Ganago, and then yeah, your monster is being flipped face down. I won't get into the specifics how you should set up this whole board and whatnot. I'll get to that a bit later when I'll get to mod farming videos in the future, but well, you got the point. So yeah, in mat farming decks, this card works wonders. So. Okay, next we have Super Double Summon. So this card was experimented in Gemini decks in the early days of Duel Links. Now we don't see this card being played simply because Gemini decks are not being played too much. But watch out for this card in the future when some more interesting Gemini monsters will be released. Because remember, this card is a quick play spell, and quick play spells are really powerful in this game, so yeah. Okay, next card is Magic Reflector. So this card is only used in one particular archetype, and that is... yeah, some people maybe guessed it right already. That is Toons. So basically they use Magic Reflector to place a counter on their either Toon Kingdom or Toon World. And then, yeah, while that counter exists there, that particular card cannot be destroyed. So it basically prevents their Toon Kingdom or Toon World from being destroyed. So there, yeah, this card works great. So, okay, next card is Gravel Storm. So this card have seen some play actually only recently. Before it was considered a trash card, but currently it's actually used in one particular deck. In one particular Weevil variant, which is Princessen and Golden Castle of Stromberg variant. So there, this card works great. So if you are playing that kind of Weevil, then definitely get this card. Okay, next we have Blade Rabbit. So when Duel Links was young, there was this deck which was called Clown Control, which revolved around switching your monster positions to get their effects off, and it mainly included these particular clown monsters, and sometimes that deck actually included Blade Rabbit as well. So currently Clown Control, I don't know why, but it's not being played at all, so yeah. I don't know what happened to that deck, to be honest. Maybe we'll see the resurgence of it in the future, who knows? If we will, then watch out for this card that it exists here, and yeah, build your Clown Control deck with this small little bunny rabbit included. So this card works wonders with the next card that we'll be reviewing here actually, so you should grab it as well if you're playing Clown Control. Or I should say Clown Control with some carrots in it, you know. And yes, that card is, oh boy, the dreaded Labyrinth of Nightmare. Yeah, when Duel Links was still young, oh boy, this particular card in Clown Control caused a lot of chaos on the board, and you didn't know what the fuck is happening on the board, and yeah, while you were trying to figure out what is happening, you basically at that point just lost, you know? That's how good that card was. So once again, if you're interested in Clown Control with some Bugs Bunnies in it, you know, then definitely grab this card, because this card in that deck is considered to be a staple card. So okay, next we have Lady Ninja Yae. So this card never saw too much play, but sometimes it was included as a tech option in actually Ninja decks and also Gusto decks. So mainly in Gusto decks, simply because Gusto decks just revolve around wind monsters. So maybe in the future we'll see this card being played more in Ninja decks when more Ninja support will be added. So okay, and finally we have Riryoku Field. So this card has only one particular application currently in the game, which is to farm Kaiba himself. Yeah, this card is a perfect counter for enemy controller, which Kaiba uses a lot. So definitely, if you are farming Kaiba, and I'm pretty sure you will want to farm Kaiba because he has some pretty nice and kick-ass cards, and then yeah, definitely include in your farming deck this card. 3 copies of it. So okay, yeah, and with that we covered all cards that were personally interesting for me. Keep in mind that these whole card trader videos, they are more based on my own opinion, on my own experiences with the game, so the final judgment about these cards you should actually make yourself. So and yeah, before I leave Card Trader, there's one more thing that I want to tell you about. So each and every 8 hours you can upgrade one of the cards that is obtainable in the Card Trader, either to Glassy or Prismatic. So speaking about Prismatics, you can upgrade only Ultra Rares and Super Rares for whatever reason. I don't know why, but that's how it is, at least for now. So let's check out this Glassy section. So sometimes in Glassy and Prismatic sections appear cards which you cannot get at Card Trader. So for example, we have this Dark Magic Curtain, but it happens during certain times, so it's not like permanent thing. So I don't advise you to go after upgrading these cards, simply because, as you can see, you need gems. You need to actually spend them to upgrade these cards. Not only other resources, you know, but also gems. And as we all know, gems is the most valuable resource, especially for free-to-play players, so I advise you to invest gems actually into boxes, but not into upgrading your own cards. So yeah, this gem resource is only applied to these cards which appear occasionally at Card Trader here, which usually do not appear at Card Trader, you know. But if we're speaking about these cards which you can get from Card Trader, upgrading those does not require you to have gems, as you can see. For example, Dragon Master Knight is available at Card Trader, but you don't need to spend your gems. So, but as you can see, yeah, Rare Jewels here is a really important resource if you want to upgrade these cards. Not only if you're speaking about Glossies, but also if you're speaking about Prismatics, there you need to have even more Rare Jewels at your disposal. For example, Sacred Soldier, yeah, as you can see how much Rare Jewels you need, it's insane. So yeah, I advise you to upgrade these cards and invest your time only into these cards which you find valuable, which you personally like, for example. For example, I personally invest my rare stones into Arrow Mages because I like them, you know. And also I invest my rare stones here into cards which are good for farming. So that's what I advise you to do. Because this glossiness and the prismaticness is not too important, it's only important to get more dual assessment points, and that's pretty much it. So yeah. But like I already mentioned before, obtaining these rare stones, rare jewels, is a pretty hard thing to do in this game. So So yeah, you have been warned, and I'll leave Card Trader, and I think I won't be coming back to it ever again. I had my share of Card Trader in these videos. As you can see, I reviewed a lot of cards, and keep in mind that in the future even more cards will be added here, so I think I won't be able to keep up. That's why I say that I'll leave the Card Trader, that I had enough share of it now. So yeah, once again, make your own judgments about these cards. I made my own judgment about these cards, and keep in mind that all cards in this game are actually quite interesting. That's the thing that I like about Duel Links, that each and every card has a specific use, and sometimes a use that you even don't see when you are experimenting with these cards. But in the future, for example, or in some certain decks, these cards which you thought are trash are actually pretty good. So it's all about the experimentation, yeah. So yeah, deck building here is really fun in this game, so I really advise you. Of course, to get all the cards in the game, it will be pretty hard to do. First, of course, get the cards that you want and that you need and that you find valuable, but later on, when you have enough spare resources, I advise you to experiment with other cards as well. So, but yeah guys, hopefully you enjoyed this series of videos about Card Trader, and see you all in the next Duel Links video. Cheers!